for 6 months.
Look at Surace shorts. They up to his tits. All right, let me mute this. So listen, I'm not going to be too hard on Jaime Munguía because he didn't fight as scary as Devin Haney did last night. However, I don't feel that this style that he's fighting, this cautious, one-punch throwing, no combination fighter at his age is going to work too well for him. He's now with Eddie Reynoso in Canelo's camp, and he fought a disciplined fight. He fought a good defensive fight. He should go on to win a 10 rounds to 2 unanimous decision. This fight was 12 rounds, by the way, over Bruno Surace in their rematch on the Canelo versus William Scull undercard. Badou Jack versus Noel Mikaelian is up next. Let's go back down memory lane. Munguia has made his bones for being an exciting fighter that goes out there, reckless abandon, and, just overwhelms his opponents with activity. In this case, he met a Frenchman in a fight in his home country, and he got his ass knocked out or stopped in round number 6. Something that was a long time coming. Fans were always saying one day he gonna get his ass knocked out. By the way, here's the punch stats, there's been some low punch numbers in the last several fights between yesterday and tonight. My goodness. 64 punches landed by Surace of 292 thrown. 105 landed by Jaime Munguía, 367. Only 32 power shots. Ill. By the way, the crowd's starting to fill out. I can't wait to hear the cards. I won't be surprised if they gave Munguia every round. I couldn't find a round for Bruno Surace. Maybe you can give him round 1 and 2. But she is praying. But yeah, maybe this style will benefit Munguia going forward, depending on the opponent. But I don't see too much success. Let's listen into the cards.
After 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards.
He's got to be more aggressive.
McCann scores it 116 to 112.
That's close.
And both judges, Ron McNair and Howard Foster, are in agreement. They both scored the same, 117 to 111.
That's fine with me.
All in favor of your winner by unanimous decision, Jaime Munguía.
So I guess what I'm saying is he's got to find that balance between who he was before and being the disciplined fighter that he's turning into. After all, he is 28 years old. He can't go out there and keep taking a whole bunch of shots with his face. And this is a fighter who, by the way, has moved fairly quickly through divisions. 3 divisions in 6 years, or just under 6 years. Remember, back in 2019, he was at 154. Then moved up to 160, then now 168. And to be honest, outside of his knockout against Bazanian, his power is looking not that it fully transferred up to the weight. There's some concerns there. Now, he looks good at the weight physically. Remember, he's a 6-footer. He's got some build to him. But overall, there's some concerns. There's some concerns. Let's listen in.
How'd you feel about that performance?
Sí, ¿cómo te sientes? Una sonrisa grande cuando escuchaste ya el resultado y ya pusiste el puño al aire. ¿Cómo te sientes después de esta actuación?
No, la verdad que me siento muy contento. La verdad que pues fue una muy buena pelea. Tuvimos un gran rival enfrente. Y pues espero que haya sido una buena pelea para todo el público.
Yeah, so I think it was a great fight. We had a really good opponent in front of us tonight, and I hope that the fans really enjoyed the fight that we put on the ring tonight.
That was a shocking defeat last year to Surace. How important was it to you to avenge that loss?
Sí, obviamente fue un shock enorme la derrota que tuviste con Surace. ¿Qué tan importante fue la redención para ti esta noche?
No, pues yo pienso que sin duda fue lo más importante. Yo creo que trabajar en la mentalidad, trabajar después de la derrota pasada, la verdad que fue difícil, pero la verdad que estamos de vuelta y hay Jaime Munguía para rato.
No, to be honest, it was really important for me tonight to come back from that. More than anything, we've been working on our mentality, and that's what you need to do after a fight like this. And what we've seen tonight is that I got the victory and that Jaime Munguía is here
The
to stay.
consensus
You made
is
a big
he was
change
disciplined.
after that fight, going to Eddie Reynoso, going to Team Canelo. What impact did they have on you tonight?
Obviamente tomaste la decisión, una gran decisión de cambiar de gimnasio, entrenar con Eddie Reynoso y el equipo Canelo. ¿Qué impacto tuvo esta noche?
No, la verdad yo creo que sin duda fue un gran cambio. Yo creo que nos ha ayudado mucho y pues nos vamos a seguir acoplando, vamos a seguir trabajando, vamos a seguir avanzando y vamos a seguir buscando las grandes peleas.
Yeah, there's no doubt it was a great change, that I made. But we're really happy with the way that we're progressing. I think it's really helped me a great deal to advance as well. And we're going to continue to grow, and I think we're going to continue to gel as a team and work together and do even better things.
It seemed like during the fight, Eddie was trying to prevent you from going back to being the fighter you have been most of your career. How much of him was it about him trying to make you
keep telling him to
guy?
stay calm and relaxed.
Parece que Eddie te estaba diciendo que no fueras el boxeador de antes, que era más defensivo. ¿Qué tan importante fue para él cambiar tu estilo en este sentido?
Bueno, yo creo que para esta pelea pues era muy importante, ¿no? El mantener la calma, el mantener la distancia. Vimos que Surace pues nada más estaba esperando que cometiera un error para meter su volado de derecha. En esta ocasión no cometimos el error, estuvimos pues alerta todo el tiempo, ¿no? Entonces, la verdad yo creo que sin duda fue un gran cambio y muy agradecido con Eddie Reynoso y con el Team Canelo.
No, I think more than anything, it was just about this fight. It was about being really calm, understanding the distance as well. I think Surace, all he was looking for was for me to make a mistake so he could land that overhand right. But, I'm really happy and grateful to Eddie Reynoso and for the work that we're doing.
Back in the mix at 168, who do you want next?
Obviamente ya eres un jugador importante en 168. ¿Quién quieres próximo para...?
Pues lo primero que esté, la verdad que estamos listos para cualquier cosa, Berlanga, Plan, cualquiera de ellos en la 168, estamos listos.
So we're ready for anyone at the moment, 168 pounds. Berlanga, Plan, any of those guys, we're ready for them.
Congratulations, Jaime.
Thank you. Y quiero desearle, antes que nada, todo el éxito hasta México, hasta Estados Unidos, a Rafael Divino y también a Canelo Álvarez, que es próximo ahorita. ¡Viva México!
I want to just say as well, I wish every success to Mexico and the US, to Rafa Divina and obviously Canelo, who's going to be fighting tonight.
Y muchas gracias, Arabia Saudita, Riyadh, por el gran recibimiento aquí.
And thanks so much as well to Saudi Arabia for the great welcome we've received here.
You forgot to say Turkey. I heard that. So, let me lay out the 168-pound landscape for you. Obviously, Canelo's taking on William Scull. I expect for Canelo to not fight in any more mandatories after. If he beats Scull tonight, which he should, and go on to fight Crawford. Crawford's there in the crowd, by the way. I'm expecting for Canelo to start dropping belts. He ain't going to be fighting none of those mandatories. He's not fighting Christian and Billy. He's not fighting Diego Pacheco as mandatories. I just don't see that happening. Maybe a Pacheco. To be very honest, I don't see him fighting any more mandatories. So you got Edgar Berlanga, Hamza Surace, who are going to be fighting in July. That's supposed to be in Central Park with Shakur Stevenson, William Zepeda on the card. Christian and Billy and Diego Pacheco were ordered to fight, but they're both going different ways. Forgive me if I forgot what the news was with them. But could I see Munguia against either of them? Not Pacheco, maybe in Billy, but not Pacheco. Caleb Plant is going to be taking on Jose Resendez, and that's going to be on May the 28th to kick off White Boy Summer, with Jamal Charlo still being a head case on the card, taking on Thomas Lamana, a 160-pound fighter, and Caleb Plant and Jamal Charlo are expected to fight, so they're booked up the next two fights. So realistically, he can, we can see Munguia against the winner of, even though it's a couple of months away before they step into the ring, Berlanga and Surace, but something's telling me we're going to see him versus Mbili. The Canadian, the French Canadian. And if you look, the division is pretty top heavy. There's not really too much going on outside of with the top guys. And by the way, who's Salusky facing again that I was pissed off about? Who are you facing against, Salusky? Mbili, ew. and it's going to be for the WBC interim. Ill. You know, so something's telling me Mbili may be next for the WBC interim. And then the winner of Mbili and Munguia will be for the full WBC championship. That's what my gut is telling me, and that's what politics are kind of telling me too. But overall, I'm not going to see the difference between him and the way Haney fought last night is you can see like Haney fought very jittery last night against Jose Ramirez, to where you can see that it was more of a game plan to stay disciplined, even though it seemed to be difficult at some times for Munguia. But, I don't know. That's just my opinion. With that being said, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and teach your controversy with Fight View 360. Oh, and don't sleep on Mbili. He's actually pretty good.